2. It's going to be me and Landon bringing you guys the action. It's going to be the last stream here on Bravo until tomorrow. But we do have a great game coming for you guys. It is going to be Enigma6 taking on Evil Geniuses.
Indeed, it should be a very, very interesting match. Of course, we'll get ready to take a look at the maps for what should be a very, very interesting best of 5, as this should be a very interesting match. I mean, kind of coming between both of these squads. Evil Geniuses making a roster change just now, getting the likes of Parasite, of course, in place of Study, and also Enigma6 getting the likes of Royalty in place of, obviously, Ruiz as well. So this is kind of a new teams for either side, and of course, both these teams have had a very successful run so far here at Anaheim. Evil Geniuses finishing second in their Pool C, and as well as Enigma6 actually finishing first in Pool A.
Yeah, but on your guys' screen right now, you're going to see the maps for this best of 5. Map number 1, that is going to be Throwback in the game mode. As always, it's going to be Hardpoint. Second map is going to be Retaliation. That is going to be a Search and Destroy. And then map number 3 is going to be Frost, the game mode being Uplink. And if we have to go to distance for game 4 and 5, it'll be Retaliation, Hardpoint, then a Breakout, Search and Destroy.
Should be a very interesting setup for at least the first map as we get ready to load into that one. Throwback, Hardpoint. And when it comes down to Throwback, Hardpoint, there are a few different hardpoints that we definitely need to be taking a look at. One of them being Baseball Field, the other one going to be inside of Barn. When it comes down to those particular hills, expect to see a lot of close-range gameplay with things like E-Rads as well as K-Bars. One player that I'm definitely going to be looking at least from the side of Enigma6, is going to be Royalty. The man has definitely gone off this tournament. Heard about him going on a 19 streak a little bit earlier on today, which is absolutely incredible. Would love to see a VOD of that, if that's actually going to be available. But still, it should be a very interesting match. And that E-Red from Royalty, as well as that K-Bar, is definitely one to be watching out for, as EG and the side of Enigma6 get ready to kick off right now.
And to keep in mind as well, the team that does lose this will be put down into that loser's bracket as well. We are finally in bracket play here, and these are the 2 teams that made it through. But our eyes are going to be on the new ones, Parasite and Royalty, for both sides. So we're going to keep an eye on them to see how this one does progress. But the first initial seconds of this game are going over towards the boys on Evil Geniuses.
Indeed they are. And Enigma6 is, of course, getting ready to take that hill right back, and they need to be aware of those spawns. They're getting ready to be affected toward that back fruit side, over toward that barn area, and Proto being aware of such. Currently with that E-Rad in hand, making his way through the flank. So does Evil Geniuses realize that one player has made it behind enemy lines? It looks like they just do now, and Proto gonna make Nagafan pay for that one. Royalty as well. The double E-Rads coming into play as Havoc, the last player alive. Thankfully, they're gonna hold on to those spawns in some cases, but Havoc getting ready to be in a pretty big gun engagement. Coming from field, might not actually be able to win this gunfight. I don't know how that one went on for so long, but Nameless is going to be able to stop that player from making any more advancement.
Yep, and the Enigma6 push looks like it's ready to go. It's going to be Proto sitting in front Barn, but now he has Cade right by his side to push Nameless here inside of Barn, and just like that, they're going to get the break. But Havoc is the lone player left inside for Evil Geniuses. Shaky shots coming in from him, and Proto is going to be able to clean that one up. So we see a nice clean sweep from the side of Enigma6, forcing Evil Geniuses players to spawn out. Now, it looks like they're trying to go for a pinch here. Players 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 are trying to attack from both sides, but an excellent hold so far coming from Enigma6.
Indeed, what we've seen these last 2 hills when Enigma6 is retaken is just them watching both of their cross angles. The E-Rad players for E6, both Royalty as well as Proto, doing a fantastic job at making sure to watch each other's back and kind of picking up kills in quick succession. That's exactly what E6 has done in the last few hard points. That's kind of guaranteed them the slim lead that they're actually about to lose right now. EG officially taking the lead, coming from that rotation from Barn. We focus our attention now toward that lower bike street. And it seems it is going to be the side of Enigma6, who's here early. Proto, the guy who's going to be in the objective quite a bit, already grabbing some early seconds.
Definitely slaying pretty much even between everybody thus far. The score right neck and neck, 44-42. Contention is going to be going down. Havoc is inside of the hill for Evil Genius. He's going to be able to pick up a 2-piece right there. That earns him the Scarab, and now it's just 300 off of that Trinity Rock. He's joined inside of the hill by Nameless. The Scarab does come out, and Havoc finds himself one more. So now both him and Nameless currently on a 4-kill streak, and Nameless is continuing his tear, currently sitting at 5.
Nameless over time, and especially throughout Infinite Warfare, has definitely stepped up his game. Coming from Black Ops 3, was kind of looked as a weak link on a number of different rosters, one of those being actually Complexity, until he made his advancement over to Luminosity Gaming. That, of course, ended up ending toward the beginning of Infinite Warfare, but he has proven himself to be a top player in this game and a great vocal leader as well. Nameless has been playing competitively Call of Duty since around Call of Duty 2, so this guy definitely has a number of different matches, a lot of experience under his belt, and definitely is a great leader for this kind of, in some cases, younger EG squad, along with Parasite, who's been playing for quite a bit of time as well. Recently adding him to the team, these guys have been kind of teaming together for quite a while now, and it's kind of a nice mixture between young guns in some cases as well as veterans.
It definitely is. Parasite, that lead shot caller now for Evil Geniuses. They got rid of Study because that's the one thing that they needed. And with Parasite, that's what you get. You get the confidence and you get the vocal leadership. That is exactly why they brought him in. And Evil Genius is starting to look very good in this one. They have Parasite set up, a classic Parasite from Black Ops 2 in that anchoring position here in the back concession stand. See if Parasite's going to be able to find another. He spots Royalty, gets him tagged up just a little bit, but now the bait and switch is coming in from the side of Evil Genius. That is going to be General working alongside Royalty. Can they take him out? Royalty is still up inside of Bowling, and he picks up the nice QBs to get the break there, but still, you see Nagafin. He's the player inside of the hill, still holding strong.
Nagafin holding true right now. Evil Genius is trying to set up for as long as possible, trying to hold and set up camp. And Havoc has just realized that Proto has completely destroyed his entire team. But can Havoc respond is the question. Big 1v1 engagement going down. That's going to be Cade who wins that, guaranteeing his team the last few scrap seconds of the first set of rotations. As we're going to focus our attention back toward train platform, it's going to be a little bit of a lead right now for the side of Evil Geniuses. Parasite with the MV4 holding over toward that Bike Street side. Royalty for the side of E6, making advance through the middle map. He will drop pretty quick, and Evil Genius is doing a pretty good job up to this point. You see some outliers after that first side. Havoc 16-9, Nameless 15-8, and both Nagafin and Parasite sitting around that even point mark.
Yeah, Havoc got off to a very slow start here in this hard point as well, but now he has completely picked it up, and he is on a tear. That is something that we have to keep in mind. This when Havoc has those abilities to go off, and when he has those games where he shines, that is where Evil Geniuses are going to be at their best. But it also helps out when you have your main MV4 playing Parasite and Nameless both going off as well. So there's great all-around team performance. You see the score just continuing to rise for the side of Evil Geniuses, currently sitting at 134 and counting, and it's just going to be at slow 60 for Enigma6.
And E6 trying to make this push, actually coming in from field. The pinch tries to come in for EG, but it doesn't actually work out for them. Player number 8 and player number 7, Proto, now the last alive from this push as his teammate falls, and EG hold on strong, at least for the time being. General, all the boys from E6 making 1v1 engagements, but it's not really working out for them. Royalty just trying to make somewhat of an impact into this EG push, and it looks like that is going to end up for the time, but since Royalty was at least able to find a few, that saves his team at least somewhat of a push, but Nameless is here, and he's going to clean that one up. A beautiful play here from the side of Evil Geniuses as constantly E6 have tried to force their way in, but EG have been there for the response every single time as they're now getting closer to being up by over 100 seconds.
You're not really seeing too many team pushes right now from Enigma6, and that is what's scary. That's why Evil Genius has been able to hold Barnes so great. We talk about General, he's at his best when he's outside slaying and getting right up in the enemy face. This is how you know he's not doing the greatest right now, or how he just, that confidence level seems to dip a little bit. He's not up in the enemy face. He's not slaying outside that base. It seems like he's getting frustrated. He's the lone man going straight into the base. Now he's pulling at the MV4 in this hill, so let's see if he's going to be able to turn it around. He was able to find one, but quickly he's going to be cleaned up by Nameless, and Nameless is starting to work his way towards that Trinity rocket. Does have that active camo ready to go as well.
A nice 5-screw for Nameless. Unfortunately, that one will end just after that. But as we make our rotation here toward Bike Path, E6 getting some contested time as that one will finally end. But here come a few of the score streaks. See if those make a little bit of an impact. They're coming in from Nameless. I'll finally shut down one. Parasite with a combination of the other two. And now it's going to be EG gaining more and more time. E6 constantly have been on the back foot throughout this entire match, and Nameless is continuing to light things up. Finds 3 as he's now going to be on a 4 streak. 27-10 for Nameless as he's going to advance his positioning right now, trying to catch the side of E6 off of this next hard point. He's already thinking of future plays, realizes that his team fouls just to his left, and he's going to rock the active camo to consider what would be the next hard point as he's going to continue to go off Nameless on a 6 spree, 29-10, absolutely going off for his team right now as they have just passed that 200-point mark.
Nameless is living up to his PSN tag, which falls under Name Zeus, the god right now on a 7-kill streak as it continues to rise. 30-10 for Nameless. The Trinity Rocket is going to come into play as well. He's just going to hover this one, force those Enigma6 players to go inside of Bowling, and this is all Enigma6. 8-kill streak, looking to make it 9. He gets actually gets a team kill there, but gets the assist as well. Just staying alive inside of the hill. His name is. He finds another one. Make that 9-kill streak. Has the bombardment ready as well. Nameless is going off. Who can stop this man?
Nameless is absolutely going on a tear. Of course, you see the podcaster saying 7. I believe a few of the assists as well, kind of leading toward that. But either way, Nameless is absolutely exploding. Thank you, General, for finally shutting that one down. My voice was starting to get lost. But either way, EG have come to play in this first hard point. I hate to say a game's over before it even starts, but at this point, EG looking so incredibly strong in this first hard point. looking to 100-point club the side of E6. And that's all been to the great plays of guys like Nameless roaming throughout the map. Thankfully, General is starting to heat up a little bit at times, but like we said, he has really slowed down. Still sitting at -10, was actually double negative at the middle of this game, and at this point, it's too little too late. You're not going to get enough slaying done to bring this one back all the way, but EG, this is just absolute stellar play from these guys, and like we said, major highlight to Nameless, 33-10, plus he's got over 2 minutes of hill time.
He's just doing everything right now for the side of Enigma6, but he has a great supporting cast around him. Havoc, Parasite, and Nagafin all holding their own in the slaying department as well. Now just 10 seconds away from taping Map 1 from Enigma6. And something that's weird, I have never seen General bring out the MV4 before. He's usually strictly K-Bar, but he's been rocking the MV4 a majority of this map, and you can see in the stat line how much it's hurting him. 20 and 31 is General.
Indeed, as he's going to try to set up here for Barn. We'll see, obviously, that plays out. This is going to need to be a miracle in some cases, kind of like a marathon in some ways for the side of E6. They're going to have to hold true. Only 10 more seconds needed for the side of EG. Here comes the team push. Nameless ends up dropping. Likes of Parasite and Havoc both have their payloads. Havoc actually rocking his at this current time. Nagafin coming from the back, and it looks like the kills are going to be in their way. Proto rocks the active camera to try and at least contest for as long as possible. He will drop. Nameless is now back in the fight. Royalty trying to make some pushes here toward field, but he has to get in here as soon as possible. Can he reach it in time is the question. Yes, he will, and he will win that gunfight versus Havoc. So they are going to stay alive for just a little bit longer, but there are only 2 more seconds left needed for EG to close this one out.
You have Nameless sitting in front of Red Silo right now. He's getting ready to make that push. They're just fighting for all this little time. They just need 2 seconds to win this one. Nameless is going to be able to get the entry frag there on Royalty as Nagafin joins him in the fight, but Proto and Cade are going to be able to shut that one down, but the rotations are going to be coming in through, and they have to make sure they can't leave the scrap time, because look, player number 4 was getting ready to just hop in the hard point right there. The final 2 seconds, this might put him over, but now they literally probably just need 0.5 seconds to take this one. The reactive armor is going to come in. The hill currently being contested. Royalty doing everything he can to try to stay alive, and just like that, Enigma6 takes map number 1 off of, no, Evil Geniuses takes map number 1 off of Enigma6.
And in quotations there next to EG, you've got to put Nameless. The man absolutely had an incredible performance throughout this map number 1. Unreal stuff there from him. Did stuff in the objective as well and the slaying category, but still, off the start of that hard point, I mean, it was all EG. We had some good moments from E6 coming at different moments, but still, massive credit to the guys on EG. They made that hard point look pretty dominant.
I make myself get a little lightheaded there. That's why I said the wrong team.
No worries,
all that yelling that you have to do takes a
They
toll
both start
on the
with
mind.
an E.
They both do. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket here, and we'll give you guys the quick rundown of how everything has gone so far. So what you're going to be seeing right now is Enigma6 going up against Evil Geniuses. Obviously, the map, the series that we're casting here, Evil Genius is going to be up 1-0. Optic Gaming Luminosity, that's going on the main stage over on the Alpha stream there. This should be a good one. A great rematch as well. And then Bittersweet versus Splice. You saw that, a quick 3-0.
Yeah, it was a pretty fast matchup to say the least, and I actually ended up finishing off casting that last match between Epsilon and E United, which ended up going at Epsilon's way. We're in a pretty close series in that case with having players like Dave going off. I feel like in every match that I've casted, we've started to see players throughout Anaheim start to really make a major impact in a lot of their maps, and I feel like for Epsilon it's been Dave, and honestly for EG right now it seems that that's going to be Nameless. So with that in mind, definitely have some highlight players to be looking out for, but of course we do talk about this match, how it is going to advance, and the winner of this game actually is going to play up against the winner of Optic Gaming and Luminosity, and I was just told by our producer that Optic Gaming actually took map number 1.
Luminosity took map number 1.
Okay, I was lied to. I apologize. Come on now.
Luminosity took map number 1 in that one, and we know that taking any map from Optic Gaming is a hard task as well. But I mean, you're looking at Enigma6 and Evil Geniuses, you're kind of worried because you know if you win this game, you're going to either be playing Optic Gaming or Luminosity, and that's a little bit scary.
It is indeed. So as we get ready to focus our attention now toward this next search and destroy, that's actually going to be on Retaliation. And you have to kind of get a little bit of an idea as to what the strategy should be when it comes down to the guys from Enigma6. Now, some guys to be looking out for when it comes down to the search and destroy, I feel like for the guys on E6 is going to be guys like Proto when it comes down to the offensive plays, especially with being the bomb carrier when it comes into this team. Also need to see some strong performances from General, I feel like, as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, General needs to step it up in that hard point. Like we said, Enigma6 is running and gunning every single time General starts to get that confidence going. But let's go ahead and take a look at that box score from that hard point and just get a quick recap going on here. You're going to see the times from both of the teams here, and the one thing that always sticks out to us is that Barn Hill and Enigma's Evil Geniuses. I keep getting them mixed up for some reason. It's like the new Elevate meme for me. 81 for Barn for Evil Geniuses on that one, which is something that's just a big highlight as well. Enigma6 was able to get some pretty good time, but we look at the key players. Name Zeus, 36 kills, 1.89 KD with 122 seconds of hill time as well. Then you look at Proto from the side of Enigma6, 29 kills, and Eva 1.0 KD with 71 seconds on the hill, but Nameless was absolutely doing everything, but also Havoc stepped it up big in the slaying department as well.
Oh, for sure, and of course we also take a look at that baseball field as well when it comes down to that hard point. In my opinion, that's kind of acted as if a second money hill when it comes down to throwback. You can obviously see the major slaying differential. I mean, every hard point, obviously, EG had the advantage, but in that one specifically, 65 to 12, it obviously does play factor. So, also one thing that I want to talk about coming into this next match is that, at least in the past, EG has not been a very talented slaying team when it comes to a hard point. Search and Destroy has been their bread and butter. We know what Havoc, we know what Nagafin can do, we know what Parasite has done in the past when it comes into Search and Destroy. I'm not exactly thrilled if I'm E6 when it comes to this next Search and Destroy. This isn't like a game mode where it's like, okay, now we can kind of relax a little bit. This is our game mode to take. This is most likely EG's best game mode, at least in the past.
Yeah, it definitely is, and you take a look at the map, it is going to be Retaliation. It's not going to be one of those maps where playing super aggressive like the style that Enigma6 knows and loves. It's not going to really work out from this one. Kind of forces you to slow up your strategy just a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But like you said, Evil Geniuses 100% has the advantage in Search and Destroy. And you highlight the key players. Havoc, the guy who's always grinding singles tournaments at home, as well as Nagafin with all the S&D terms. But all these guys are very well experienced Search and Destroy players. But map number 2 is underway here. We're going to be starting this one off with a bomb carrier for Evil Geniuses. That is going to be Parasite.
Indeed it will, making a little bit of an offside hit. This is not normally going to be a regular strategy that you see happen, especially when it comes down to North American teams with EG trying to obviously put that one to the wayside. Parasite receiving some shots. Nice overall reaction to that play happening. Both Parasite and Nameless receiving some shots and backing up and looking to try and re-engage yet again. General holding that car chest high cover and staying up for the time.
And now you're going to see the rotations coming in from Evil Geniuses. It's going to be Havoc leading the way, while Parasite is just falling right behind. No first blood has been drawn yet. But you see the read coming from Evil Geniuses going down straight in that hotel hallway. It's going to be Havoc, I believe, actually Nagafin, positioned inside with that sniper. We know what he's capable of when that's in his hand. But look, Parasite slipped right behind all the Enigma6 players here. Let's see if he's going to be able to get this bomb down. Should be able to, but first blood goes in favor of Enigma6.
I like this play from EG. I want to break it down. Of course, once this round does conclude, player number 8, that's going to be Cade, entering into a potential gunfight shortly. Actually just get some cases, whether you want to call it good or bad timing in that case, but either way is able to stay alive for the time being. Not a whole lot of time left on that bomb. Wouldn't be a better idea to maybe even hop on that one, but when Nagafin's in the back with a sniper rifle, it's not going to be an easy task by any means. Player getting all up close and aggressive in his face. Proto finds 2. Player last alive is going to be Nameless. 1 versus 3. Shuts down the bomb planter, or excuse me, the bomb diffuser, and tries to find another one, but it's not going to be there. We're going to see Cade escape with that defuse, but in some cases, that was a beautifully played offensive round from the side of Evil Geniuses. They make it A hit. Parasite starts to receive some shots. They start to obviously make the rotation back toward B. Royalty spots inside a bedroom, says, you know what? We're not going to actually allow you guys to know exactly what we're doing. We're going to rotate all the way back toward A yet again. And, of course, that was just obviously a great play when it comes to offense for EG, but an even better defense when it came down to the side of E6.
It was a bit of an odd round as well. Rarely do you see teams like, okay, let's wrap to B. Oh, wait, no, let's backtrack to A. But the timing worked out in Parasite's favor. He was able to get that bomb down. Nagafin is going to go ahead and decide to put away that sniper. We're going to go on board with the offensive team. This one is going to be Enigma6. Top on board with Proto. Off to a hot start in this one after one round, going 2-0. Let's see if he can continue this play as his teammates are pushing over towards bridge here. So one player's hitting the wall to try to spot check, and now that bomb is going down. And Royalty draws first blood, and then General follows up with the kill of his own.
And you see with that advancement of his team, they realize they have complete control, so they're actually going to plant for the opposite side to try and make their way here for a time over toward Cathedral, but that's quickly foiled, and then just like that, they're going to be cleaned up quick. Nice shots coming at range from that MV4. E6 making light of these first 2 rounds. You see Proto can do damage, but not just the K-bar, but the MV4 as well. Kills being cleaned up. And Proto, the main objective man for this squad, also getting involved when it comes down to the kills.
Now up 2-0 is Enigma6. Let's look at Proto. He does have that scarab ready to go. We know important streaks are going to be on a map like Retaliation, whether it's for respawn or search and destroy as well. So he's 200 off that Trinity Rockets. 2 kills will acquire that. So let's see here. Nameless is pushing inside of Hotel. Kills immediately going to be traded. K takes out Parasite. So now a 3 versus 3 situation. Nameless spots one down low. It's going to be General, but the bait and switch does come in. And Proto's going to continue his streak. He finds another and turns on Nagafin as well. Now Havoc is going to be left alive in a 1 versus 2. He's able to find one. Now it's a 1v1 versus Proto.
Havoc versus Proto. 1 versus 1. A much needed round if you are Evil Geniuses. Proto advancing toward the back, of course, does have some streaks to use if he wants to. Havoc hanging over toward that catwalk side. Of course, we do talk about Havoc when it comes down to Search and Destroy tournaments. I feel like every time his stream's on, he's at least playing something. When it comes into Search and Destroy, that is his specialty. So with that, he's actually going to advance right behind Proto. Player just around the corner, needs to find the shot, and just like that, great intuition there from Havoc. And that's now going to be a much-needed round on the board for the side of Evil Geniuses, as they're now going to only be down by 1 round. However, E6 still advancing 2-1.
Yes, perfect play call there by Havoc, too, to not jump up towards that bridge. Decide to utilize the underpass and come up all the way around. That could be coming in from the 1v1 tournaments that he does play, the experience of where players kind of sit on a map like this one as well. But who knows? Just all around great play call from Havoc. And now they get their first round on the board as well. So let's see how Enigma6 does bounce back. They have the Trinity Rocket, they have the Scarab ready to go, and it's so close to that active armor as well.
Curious, does Nagafin actually have the sniper rifle out right now? No, he does not. So he actually has the K-bar. So, well, in this case, he's going to have to call it to his teammates. It's going to be very difficult to win a gunfight at this range. But speaking of gunfights, Nameless has already found one. That's Cade dropped early. And E6 making an offside hit. They've currently got 1 player down when they're on offense. This is not looking good, at least from the outside perspective. We'll see how they try to advance. Nameless sitting on plat, taking some shots from afar as EG looks to try and rush forward here.
General and crew are going to be pushing over towards Scaff. It's going to be Proto going up all the way towards Plat there. A site is completely wide open. You see the 4 arrows from Evil Genius starting to wrap all the way around.
And E6 shouldn't actually notice this. Royalty was actually in a spot, and now Proto actually might realize, because he actually hears the players coming from afar, so Royalty was actually in a spot where he could have saw those players coming, but actually gets some unfortunate timing, and so he's not actually able to call out the flank that was coming from EG, so now it's going to be a 1 versus 4. Not looking good for Royalty.
It definitely isn't. 20 seconds to work with. That bomb is going to be down on Plat, but now they get the call of where he is going to be. So look for the Evil Geniuses players to collapse up on top. And just like that, Evil Geniuses are going to get their second round on the board. And now they tie up this Search and Destroy match with Enigma6.
And Nameless is currently sitting at 6-3 right now, continuing to go off when it comes down to at least these first 2 maps in this series. But like we said, Royalty just getting some unfortunate timing, and due to that, he was actually the guy watching the flank. It's kind of unfortunate as well because all 4 players from EG were able to kind of escape around, and due to Royalty not seeing those players, he couldn't call out the flank was coming in, and EG made quick work of the side of Enigma6. So with that, EG responding in back-to-back rounds. How do they play this offensive one? This time, bomb in the hands of Nameless, but actually a team kill comes in. Havoc says, actually, I want that bomb out. Probably didn't actually say that, but you know, whatever.
Unfortunate team kill coming in there for the side of Evil Geniuses. Now Havoc is going to be left alive with Nagafin as soon as Proto takes out Parasite. They're able to get 1 kill there, but still need 1 more to even up the man count. Havoc sitting inside of Bike Shop right now as Nagafin is pushed all the way over towards Market. Look for Nagafin to try to come in on the flank here through Bedroom. It's going to be 1 player who's getting a nice read on that. I'm wondering if Royalty spotted him on the cross. I don't believe he did. So Nagafin can completely open up the Search and Destroy round, and just like that, he takes out Royalty, and now that evens up the man count. You have General and Cade going up against Havoc and Nagafin.
Another moment where Royalty doesn't actually spot a player happening, and this time it actually ends in his own demise. Havoc finding General 2 versus 2 that can now work out in their favor, and just like that, 3 rounds in a row, EG have won, and in the last 2, it's been Royalty who hasn't been able to spot the offensive players actually coming at him. And with that, the 2 versus 2, great engagement coming in there from Nagafin in the end, as he will be in the round-ending kill cam there. So as we get ready to reset, question is, how does E6 start to respond now, as they're now going to be on the offensive? Proto, the only player with his payload, but probably one of the most important payloads to rock. He also has some streaks. We'll see if he can maybe be a little bit of a difference maker, as he's been absolutely stellar so far, currently leading the lobby at 7 kills.
Yeah, they're going straight, a 4-man rush directly up that hotel hallway, and Royalty is going to draw the first blood there on Parasite. Nagafin gets a kill of his own with the AMC in hand, so now it's a 3 versus 3. I believe Proto did spot 1 jumping off of Scaff. So going to be 2 of them. You can see through the X-ray where the players are jumping at. Nameless is going to pick up a nice 2-piece there, and finally he is going to be taken out there by Proto. Now some decision-making to do, but he's not going to be able to react in time. You see through X-ray the 2 players from Evil Genius ready to collapse on top of them, but now Evil Geniuses lead this one 4-2.
it's almost the communication from the side of E6 is just not existent. I mean, they make a great rush actually through middle. They're actually able to flank all the way around through bedroom. They actually catch a player off guard, but once they do that, Nameless ends up finding a few, and then they just kind of break down the play from there. Proto's the last alive, and I don't know, plays from E6 are just not making sense at this point. They've got to get things going quick, or they're going to be down 2-0 versus an Evil Geniuses team who has no issue with closing out games. They've been a very consistent team throughout most of the year. Not a team that you can by any means sleep on. So with that, 4 rounds to 2, EG do lead. Nagafin watching over that bomb planter with that longbow in hand, actually receiving some shots from the side as General will find him for the first blood.
He does take out Nagafin, so now it's a 4 versus 3. That bomb is down, so time is working against Enigma6. 30 seconds left to try to make something happen here. General's going to find one more. Parasite's going to be able to find a kill of his own, but now he's going to be left alone. He takes out Proto as well. One more play coming from behind, trying to challenge Royalty. He's not going to be able to pick up that kill there, and this bomb defuse is going to be going to General. That's going to put him 150 off of getting that scarab, but just a great all-around play there, and it all started with that first blood there that General got on Nagafin.
Yeah, much needed first blood and a great play there from General to kind of make the plays happen for his squad. Of course, we do talk about him being the captain of this lineup and kind of taking matters into his own hands. So a much needed round as far as momentum is considered for the side of Enigma6. Nagafin, as we load in here to a round number 8, is going to then switch off of that sniper rifle over to a K-bar. Question being, where does E6 try and hit? As Nagafin's going to actually get a spot Royalty toward the backside of that bridge, but is he going to take the bait is the question, but E6 playing pretty passively, trying to find that first blood before they make an immediate site choice.
Rightfully so. The streaks are going to come into play
Oh,
now.
Havoc.
That's going to be Havoc getting a nice 2-piece there with that Trinity Rocket. Now 2 players are going to be up. That's going to be General and Cade. Teammates who have been together for quite some time. Cade is going to be able to draw the first kill there, so now lowering the man count down to 3 for the side of Evil Geniuses. There's one more to spot. He gets Nagafin down to 1 shot. The bait and switch trying to come in for Evil Geniuses, but it's not going to work out there. But Nagafin is going to be able to have the last word and take him out. But now Evil Geniuses is just 1 round away from going up 2-0.
That was such a great play from the side of Evil Geniuses. The reason why Nagafin switches actually off of that sniper rifle to a K-bar, so he actually realizes that Havoc has the streak, so he calls it to Royalty, hey, they're playing pretty passively. Do you guys see him over at A? We don't see him over at A either, so let's call him the streaks. Let's make him pay for playing so passively. And that's exactly what happens. Evil Genius is now going to be on map point when it comes down to this search and destroy. Currently up 5 rounds to 3. You only need 6 to win, and EG look to try and do that now, as actually Nameless has left the game, so it looks like potentially some technical difficulties here. So we'll see how this obviously plays out. We can kind of obviously talk about the game a little bit, as Nagafin's currently left in a 1 versus 3, and we'll see if he actually jumps off the map. So Host ends up ending the game, so we'll see how that obviously plays out. We'll get word as to the ruling when it comes down to that. Okay, let's go and talk about this a little bit, Dirk. So as far as how the search and destroy has gone up to this point, we've obviously seen the hot start that EG has gotten off to, at least as of yet. The streaks come in till the end of that round. We'll get word, of course, to see if something was affected prior to that. But EG has come out to play, man. Nameless was absolutely going off, of course, before he ended up leaving the game, but was playing very, very well. And I'm just not sure at this point if E6 can make a rebound to even bring this one back.
See, that's one of the biggest things when a game does end like that. It's 5-3 in favor of Evil Geniuses. They had the momentum going in full swing. But now everybody's going to be at the same level, right? The break is going to be there. So this is the time where Enigma6 can try to make that comeback. Now, that is if we start the game at 5-3. I mean, which it would make sense if the player did drop out at around that time as well. So Evil Geniuses would just need 1 round. But we're going to make sure we get that official ruling to you guys to see what the situation is going to be. We said just some technical difficulties going on there with Nameless, but so far they have been looking stellar in the search and destroy.
And of course, we get word if we need to take a commercial break or see what's kind of been going on with the overall issues regarding that matchup. But still, we can kind of talk about what kind of is to expect when it comes into future rounds, when it comes into the search and destroy. And honestly, while I do talk about it and say E6 has been down, the thing that I like about E6 so much, and I've talked about, I think, through some of the matches that we've even personally casted over them so far, is that no matter the deficit, E6 still plays the way that they do, and they don't really care what the deficit is. They could be down 0-2, and in the uplink, I think they're still going to fire back. But still, their search and destroy is still not out of their midst just yet. We'll obviously see how that does play out, but I'm still not going to count on E6. It's just EG is looking to be on fire, and I feel like we have to put in quotations Nameless. He has been going off throughout these first 2 maps.
Yeah, I mean, he's the reason that they're winning. I mean, he was the reason that they were winning in the hardpoint, and now he's translating that into the search and destroy as well. And it's looking so damn good, if we want to quote the little Dr. Disrespect there. but he's just been absolutely
Shout to the doc, baby.
He's been going off right there throughout the entire game. It sucks that it had to come to a halt like that, but it wasn't his fault. It just was a technical issue that didn't happen as well. But for some reason, I just don't picture Nameless slowing down. I feel like, if anything, he's going to get a little more mad at the technical issue, and it's going to make him fire back. I mean, that's the sort of guy he is. Once he gets mad or once he starts losing, he gets this weird rush of confidence going through his body. I don't know why. It's just Nameless things. He gets mad, and all of a sudden, let's go. Let's more hype than ever. I'm pissed. I'm going to punch my screen.
Oh, my.
Something like that.
I think I need to, like, hop off the screen. I think you need this one to yourself right now. I don't know.
That's typical Nameless right there.
No,
So that's how he's going to be with that. He's going to want to bounce back. I mean, that's how his teammates kind of are, too. You look at Nagafin, you look at Havoc at sometimes being a little quiet here and there, but once they get into game mode, those guys, they say some stuff.
Yeah, and we also talked about Search and Destroy. I mean, this is EG's game mode, man. I mean, this is a game mode where they absolutely thrive. So, not that I wasn't expecting to see a strong performance from the side of Evil Geniuses, but I just thought that maybe we would see a little bit of a stronger performance coming out from the side of Enigma6. Like we said, we still haven't heard word as to what exactly the technical issue was as of yet. We'll obviously see what exactly the issue was, trying to get solved as soon as possible. But let's say the EG was able to take this map, right? Let's just say it's typically this position that they're in right now. I believe they're up around 4-3, 5-3. They should be able to take this one most likely, right? So with that, coming into the next uplink, do you realistically think that we could see, E6 start to make a little bit of a comeback?
I think, if anything, the map that they will be able to take is that uplink. I think just from going back and watching Evil Geniuses stream, Frost uplink has been something that they haven't really been able to figure out. In a sense, that just from watching that, I mean, a lot of people, like we said, have started to go to that 4 ERAD meta. You look at the side of Evil Geniuses, you have maybe 2 players who are really comfortable with that ERAD. Parasite can pull it out here and there as well. But you look at the aggressiveness on Enigma6, where I think Frost really favors those players who are right up in your face. Right. So I feel like that's the advantage that Enigma6 has in that one. But now talking about going into that next hardpoint, if we get the same performance that we saw from Nameless in that first one, it should be series over. So I do feel like Enigma6, we don't even know if they're going to lose the Search and Destroy. We did get the ruling. It is going to be set at 5-3. So Evil Genius is just going to, it's the ease, man. I sit there, they just mess with my mind. Yeah. But they're just going to need one more round to take that Search and Destroy, and that would make them go up 2-0 in this series. And it'd come down to that uplink. But it's going to be interesting to call. But I mean, we just need to get past the Search and Destroy first.
Yeah, and I think when we kind of talk about comebacks, which is exactly what E6 is going to have to do, we also have to talk about the influence of royalty makes. So we talked about it at different times during the match where Nagafin had a potential sniper rifle play where he was going to try to find the first blood, watching over for his bomb planter and whatnot, and he was able to kind of make plays happen. So I'm curious to see, as the map does kind of continue on, as far as comebacks are for E6, not just in the Search and Destroy, but as far as future maps, if E6 can start to maybe over time make things happen, I feel like that's also going to be due to the facts of the play calling as well as the overall slang coming in from General. We also talked about him not really being much of a factor in that game, number one. And I think that was a major reason as to why we didn't see E6 really show up.
Yeah, definitely. You guys are going to another look at the winners bracket that just now started. You're going to see Optic Gaming and Luminosity, the game going on main stage, tied up 1-1. Then the current match that we are casting, Enigma6 and Evil Geniuses. Currently, the 1-0 series lead is going to Evil Geniuses, but if they just win one more round in the Search and Destroy, they will be up 2-0. And you look at the lower half of the winners bracket, you see Bittersweet and Splice. That is already done and over with, a quick 3-0 sweep for them. And now Epsilon beat E United as well, 3-1. So we have a battle of the EU, arguably the top, obviously Splice, the top EU team, but Epsilon, that close second. People try to argue, whoever it is, but the top 2 EU teams are going to be going head-to-head in winners bracket.
Should definitely be a very interesting match set for tomorrow. Of course, finishing up our final 2 for today, Optic Gaming and Luminosity on Alpha, and we've got EG going up against Enigma6 here on Bravo. Keep in mind, guys, it is currently set at 5-3 in advantage of Evil Geniuses. So one more round needed for EG to close this one out. We'll see how things do start off here, Dirk.
Parasite's going to be in this hotel bar. He's going to be with 2 of his teammates, there as well. Havoc and Nameless. Pushing on to the B site is them. Proto is going to be the only player to try to contest from Market. He's going to get the spot check on 3 Evil Geniuses players. One getting very, very aggressive. That is going to be Nagafin. Trying to play back just a little bit. He is going to spot Proto once more, but now in a sticky situation, the Flechette should clear him up, but no, they're not going to. Regen just enough health in time to make sure he did not die there from those Flechettes, but you see the play starting to unfold. Enigma6 coming around there on the flank as well, trying to get into that pinch, but you see the overextension coming in from Nagafin and Parasite.
Yeah, Parasite needing to reload, kind of holding this back area. Looks like Havoc finding a kill. General spawning with 1 as well. Kills can start continuing to happen as it looks like one more player dropping from Enigma6. Royalty and General, the last two alive, trying to keep this push alive here in this search and destroy. Push coming in. Royalty advances forward, but he also drops on General, the last alive. Royalty forcing his way on 3 players. The pinch doesn't go through, and just like that, that's going to be Enigma6, who ends up losing this matchup, as it looked like it was a potential one that they could win. But EG comes out, Nargafin, and your round-ending kill cam will solidify this game, as this one will end 6 rounds to 3.
Yeah, Evil Genius has got off to a slow start in that search and destroy. Obviously, the technical issue that we just had restarted, like, what phased them a little bit. That was an excellent drawn-up play there. You saw the aggressiveness from Nagavin. Somehow was able to stay alive as Proto was just laying down shots and throwing flechettes at him as well. But it was an excellent play call to push all the way through Market. They had Havoc, I believe, come through Bedroom as well. And it's just at that point, bait and switch. Like we brought up so many times this weekend, it's just S&D 101. That really is. They're just taking you to school.
They really are, man. EG, they are very talented when it comes down to search and destroy, and they also were when it came down to that first respawn. Question being, I know we've kind of talked about it during a little bit of a break that we ended up having, was how does E6 respond? And also, how does EG kind of continue on their slaying paralysis when it comes down to the respawns? I'm really curious to see how that one kind of plays out.
Is Evil Genius going to close it out here in the uplink, or is it going to be Enigma6 trying to pull off the magical reverse sweep? We'll find out that after this quick commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live from day 2 of CWL Anaheim 2017, presented by PS4. I'm Dirk, joined alongside Landon. We have map number 3 coming up between Evil Geniuses and Enigma6. Just one map away is Evil Geniuses from advancing forward to face either Luminosity or Optic Gaming. Not the faces they really want to see in that one, but it should be a great one nonetheless. We're going to be playing Frost. Uplink is going to be the match. But before we do jump into this, we're going to have a great G Fuel key player matchup coming for you guys, and Landon, run us through it.
Yeah, it's going to be obviously Proto from the side of Enigma6 and Nameless from the side of EG. Now, of course, Overall, Kid needs to be looking at 1.13 there from Proto as far as hardpoint, search and destroy 0.93, and uplink 1.00 overall. And the reason why you're going to be taking a look at Proto, having a little bit of issues when it comes down to search and destroy and both uplink as well, is that he's the main objective guy for this team. That's something to be kind of pointing out as this match does go on. These guys are definitely key players for a number of different reasons. Nameless as far as the slaying and then obviously the chemistry and the overall communication that he brings. Proto's a different guy. He kind of brings that objective play when he needs to. You can obviously see how that does shine at times, but obviously from the side of Nameless as well. 0.97 in hardpoint S&D, he has really shined at a 1.1, and an uplink as well, a 1.09. So when it comes down to these two players, obviously stars for different reasons and obviously key players for their squads in their own regard. But when it comes down to the uplink, these two players have obviously had a stellar performance up to this point, but Nameless, got to be looking at him, man. 1.09 when it comes in uplink so far throughout this weekend. He's been an absolute dawn when it came down to our first two maps, and I fully expect to see the same thing in this third map.
That was a great G Fuel key player matchup. Like we said, it was Proto and Nameless, two players that we're going to have to keep an eye on in this one. Now, jumping straight into the uplink landing, we have to just wonder, is Nameless going to be able to replicate that hardpoint performance? That's the biggest thing on my eyes. Also, too, for the side of Enigma6, is General going to be able to step it up in the slaying department?
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. And like we said, there were different moments throughout that hardpoint search and destroy where General was starting to have struggles, especially at the beginning of the hardpoint. I think he was running double negative at times as well. Just really couldn't get things going. In that search and destroy, we started to see some, at times, sparks of brilliance where he would kind of by himself make plays happen for his squad. Thing is that you have to have your whole team to take down this squad of evil geniuses. You can't do everything by yourself. And I don't know, man. I just don't know if E6 can do it.
It's going to be tough, but if there is a map where they can bounce back, it's going to be Frost Uplink. Like we said, this is one of the maps that caters to those super, super aggressive players like E6 as a team as a whole, but General just highlighting him specifically. But we're going to look at the maps right here, how Evil Geniuses got to this point. Throwback hardpoint was 250 to 128 in favor of Evil Geniuses, and then Retaliation Search and Destroy was 6-3. And now we head into the Frost Uplink where Evil Geniuses are looking to close it out and send Enigma6 down to that loser's bracket. But you know, Enigma6, they're trying to pull off that reverse sweep.
And I'm not going to lie, to be honest with you, I'm really looking at E6 pretty heavily when it comes down to this match. I don't think that they're out of this one by any means. Like I said, if there was ever a team to kind of erase that scoreboard in some cases and not even worry about it and just kind of focus on their overall gameplay, it would be Enigma6. So if you are an E6 fan, if you're kind of curious about this matchup, don't necessarily be worried about E6. I mean, obviously they are down and they have to win this map to order to advance themselves in the winner's bracket. But like I said, if there was a team to kind of keep that composure and not even worry about the scoreboard, it would be this roster.
Yeah, it definitely would. It's going to be a great one nonetheless. Like we said, this is the map where we said a couple games ago, where we said it feels like it could be Enigma6. This is the map that they could take just because, like we said, Frost caters that aggressive play style. Now the question is, what setups are we going to see? We've seen all weekend, we've seen some teams run that ERAD for all four players, but we've also seen the K-Bar come into play as well as the ERAD. So that's going to be one of my biggest things. I feel like the team that's going to run those four ERADs is going to be the team that's going to come out on top of this. It's going to be, you think in a map like that where it's sort of medium range at some points in it, the only real spot that you're going to get a lot of damage going with that K-Bar is going to be sitting on top of Sub and then sitting on top of the Bulldozer there at middle map as well. But we are hopping right into this game. We're going to get this one started. It's going to be with Proto. He has the drone in hand, looking to make an attack.
And it looks like all four players from EG dropped pretty quick, so exactly what you want to see if you're an E6 fan, them already starting to make some noise. As it looks like that push coming in from Proto. Drone in hand, like I said, the main objective guy for this team just can't get that toss off. Still, team fight's going down to try and hold on to that one. Cade ends up losing a big fight, and Nameless is going to come away with that drone, tossing that one over toward Parasite as the defensive stand will come in for now. A good response there from the side of Evil Geniuses.
Nagafin leading the charge with Parasite right behind him with that drone in hand. It's going to be a protect game right now. Cade is coming up from behind. He's able to find one, but Nameless gets a quick snap onto him. He's able to take him out, and now they should be in a position to try to get a one here, but they need to worry about General. He's right on the other side of the door. They take him out. Worrying about one more player in loading bay. That is going to be Royalty, and he falls as well. So Nameless getting himself cooking already here in the respawn. Currently on a 3-kill spree. Gets 4, gets 5. Can he get the rest? No, he's not going to be able to, but Parasite makes good progress with that drone, but it is going to be shut down by Enigma6, and it should be sent out of the map for a reset, and it doesn't do that. The map actually stays in play. The drone is still there, but Havoc is trying to get it.
Havoc, jump, my friend. It's right there. You just can't reach it. That's such an unfortunate play because Nameless completely set up that play so well for the side of Evil Geniuses. A 1v1 engagement just doesn't go their way, and E6, a sweat off the brow type of situation for them as due to just a little bit of a misplay in some cases, just some luckiness in some cases toward their way. EG just not able to get that early scoring opportunity off.
It was very unfortunate the way it took the bounce. They almost made Royalty pay there. Now Royalty is going to be the last player up, and now you see General coming off the spawn with his teammates as well. They should be able to get a 1-point toss off here, and Parasite making the smart play. They do get that one in as well. Slow start for him, sitting at 2-6, but he has the score to sort of make up for that one. But now look for the middle map control. Nameless is going to be in position. He finds some shaky shots coming in, but the assist is going to be there now. A 4-man sweep of the players from Evil Geniuses. Proto should be able to get a 1-point toss off here, and the Havoc almost intercepted that, but it's a 1-point play nonetheless.
Early aggression coming from both of these squads, and a nice play there coming in from Proto. Granted, he's -2, but he's done a great job at getting that objective forward as quick as possible. General finds that drone, immediately dies, and tosses that one just off to the wayside, where Nagafin will be there for the recovery.
Can we just talk about Nagafin's engagements compared to everybody else in the game? Currently sitting at 19, 13-6. There's always been questions about Nagafin's career. Can he slay? Is he going to be able to put up these numbers? And he is shutting those haters down this game alone. 13-6 is what he's sitting at, currently on a 3 streak, but he finally does get shut down there in the robot bay. Havoc is going to be the player to get that drone off the reset, pushing it through over to sub, but Cade is going to get a nice 2-piece to halt that one. Havoc going to do a smart thing just to throw it over to Snowside, but he is going to die. It's not going to get off the map. Now General and crew can try to attack forward.
And one thing that I noticed while we were obviously having a little bit of a discussion there about Nagafin as well, Royalty actually had the Karma out. I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, that he's been kind of rocking with some different weapon selection. The Karma, a great weapon actually in Infinite Warfare Beta, but we haven't really seen it be used too much as far as the regular season is considered. But this guy, he does just about anything with the SMG, and we'll see what he can try to provide when it comes down to this map right here. E6 trying to hold the line. The great shots coming in from Nameless. Potentially, as that drone is ready and waiting inside a dark for someone to pick it up, and it looks like the defensive stand for E6 will hold on for now. Due to that drone not being grabbed for anyone, it will reset back toward
we're going to see the Karma be put away there from Royalty. It's a good gun, don't get me wrong. It's super accurate, but the time to kill takes a lot longer than towards an ERAD. It's just putting you at a disadvantage when you don't have that ERAD out. But Havoc is going in control of the drone. I don't know why I keep on saying it like I'm foreign. Havoc has control of that drone. He tosses it forward over towards Proto, and now they're going to start to attack over here from this red side. Parasite is in the mood to try to intercept, but he is not going to be able to get that one. Royalty is going to get the clean up there. Now look for them to try to go for a 1-point play. 40 seconds left here in the first half. Is he going to get this kill? Royalty being the man that you love to see, that lead blocker. Can they go in for the 2-point play? Proto goes up, but he's not going to be able to get it. Royalty finishes out for 1 kill, but Nameless is going to be there. So kills being traded back and forth, and just like that, an excellent defensive stop from Evil Geniuses.
That looked like a perfect scoring opportunity from the side of Enigma6, but they just can't get it off in time. Both teams getting incredibly close to getting more scoring opportunities off, but the defensive plays have definitely rang true. Proto absolutely destroying Nameless's face as he's going to continue to have that drone in his hands. Royalty yet again trying to be the lead blocker, but he just can't get the toss off, and EG will hold on toward the end of this first half. And heading into the second one, we are level at 1-1.
That's one of the negatives about pushing on this cliff side. Going straight through blue is going to cause the enemy team to spawn there right on the goal. So trying to get the 2-point toss, even the one here, trying to get the 1-point play off there is so hard to do. If anything, you have to try to utilize that wall run and hit the tricky, the wall run shot. But pushing through blue and trying to get anything from that is going to be very, very hard, especially with the defensive stance that Evil Geniuses have had thus far. Nagafin has that payload ready to go, sitting at 19 and 12 for the side of Evil Geniuses, as well as we're in the second half, tied up 1-1. He's going to find himself in the game to start this one off. The FTL is going to come into play, but that kill is immediately going to be traded.
And along with Nagafin as well, Nameless currently sitting at 21-10, continuing to have an utterly incredible game. Of course, one of the players in our G Fuel key player matchup, definitely showing as to why he deserves to be in that spot. Has absolutely gone off, and not just this series, but this entire tournament as well. One of the All-Stars as well so far throughout Anaheim, and oh my goodness, Nagafin just completely turns on Proto there. Nice shots with the E-Red, switches over to the K-Bar and is trying to delay this offensive push coming from E6, but it looks like it is going to go through. Cade finding the nice 1-point play. Has been the first 45 seconds. E6 have already doubled their score.
Yeah, it looks like they're in a position to relay here. Looked like one player was going to try to get in the way of that. That was Havoc. Now the pushing through robot should be able to get the pass off here, but player one, that's going to be Royalty. We've talked about it being the lead blocker so much here in this game thus far, and they're able to get the 2-point play off there thanks to Proto. But now look at General. We said he's starting to get in his groove, sitting at 17 and 18. And now when you see him start to get under that enemy portal and start to slay out, that's when you know he's starting to get into that little groove that General does have. He picks up a kill there inside of blue. Can he find the second there as well? He's able to get the nice kill there on Nagafin, and now 3 go down for the side of Enigma6, but Royalty doing everything he can to stay alive.
Indeed, Royalty has done a fantastic job. Of course, you see how many engagements that he's gotten into, 19 and 16, but a lot of those kills he's gotten has been in that lead blocking role, like you said, Dirk. I mean, basically kind of setting up every scoring opportunity for his team, and the reason why E6 has the lead that they do currently. Nagafin trying to, of course, slim that lead down just a hair as he'll fire in that 1-point toss. And that's now going to be only a 1-possession advantage, but still in favor of Enigma6.
And Nameless does have the active camo ready to go as well. We know how effective these payloads can be, and 3 players are going to be down for the side of Enigma6 once more. So see what Nameless and crew is going to be able to do. Let's see if he utilizes that active camo. He does go ahead to pop that, utilizing the high wall run. The body blocks are trying to come in, but the dunk is going to go in for Nameless. He finds 1 kill. Woo! He finds a second there as well. 4 players down for Enigma6 once more as they are starting to come off the respawn, attacking through blue and on that cliff side.
Nameless is absolutely going on a tear yet again. Perfect use of the active camo. And thankfully for E6, if you're an E6 fan, you're just happy to see him off the map for a few seconds because he has been the bane of the existence. The reason why E6 is struggling so much has been because of this man right there. Nameless. Nagafin now making his way with the drone after some great offensive plays from his teammates, getting the slaying done. But General not out of this one yet. Just as we start to talk about Nameless and his impact on the game, General trying to make just the same on the other side. Royalty, the drone in his hands. He's been a lead blocker, but can he do something with the objective is the question. 1-point toss potentially, but no, he wants the 2-point play. And that's exactly what he's going to get. Just like that, E6 respond with a dunk, and just under 2 minutes remaining in this second half.
Yep. As you said, under 2 minutes remaining, Nameless is going to push all the way up to ice to try to get those kills to open things up. Now it's going to be 3 players dead. Parasite has that overdrive ready to go, but Proto is going to be flying high in the sky, and he's going to be able to take out Parasite. Now make that 2 players left alive for Evil Geniuses. Cade has the overdrive as well, pushing towards this black plat area. See what he's going to be able to do here. Is he going to rock it? He goes for the 1-point toss, and he is going to make it now a 3-point game in favor of Enigma6.
I like that play there from Cade. Actually ends up using the overdrive in the end. Interesting play there from Cade. I was actually getting ready to say a nice play from him, actually just to stay alive, but just as I started to give credit to the side of E6, they both waste the active camo and the overdrive. I'm just going to give credit to Cade for not using the overdrive of that particular play. That was a good strategy, but in the end, he actually used it to try and win a gunfight. That doesn't happen. The active camo gets burned, so EG now down by 3 points. The active camo, the overdrive, it's off the map right now. You have to worry about that. And Parasite might go for the 1-point toss. Is that one through? Yes, it is. EG, now only 2 points separate them. They have the payloads to work with, but do they have the gun skill? Can they advance the drone forward and close this one out in a 3-0 fashion, or can E6 hold on?
You're 100% looking to get that drone into Parasite's hand. He still has that overdrive. It's crucial that he stays alive here. You can't waste any time of him trying to come off that respawn. He finds one there on Royalty, but middle map control is still in favor of Enigma6. You see player 4 and 3. That's going to be Proto and Cade working side by side, but General gets a huge troopies in the middle of the map. But Parasite finds one. No, he gets the assist. Nameless picks up 2, but now they have 20 seconds to get a dunk in to send this game to overtime. Nagafin going to be utilizing that high wall run, going to go ahead and dip back, but they need these lead blockers. They need to slay desperately. 2 players now down for Enigma6 with 10 seconds left. Can Nagafin and Evil Geniuses do it? Pushing forward, Proto gets the stop. The reset should be coming in off the map, and just like that, Enigma6 is trying to make that reverse sweep happen, and it's a good start by taking map number 3.
That's exactly what I said, man. Coming into this map was that it doesn't matter the deficit. EG completely has walked away with the first 2 maps in pretty easy fashion, despite it being a very close game, and due to Nameless's performances, it doesn't matter for E6. They don't care about the scoreboard. They don't care about the deficit, and they bring this one back. They look like a totally different team, and massive credit to them for kind of remaining and kind of holding on to that composure, because at times, man, it looks scary. Parasite had the overdrive. They had the active camo to work with, and honestly, if you're EG, it's like, how do we have not used those earlier?
That's what I wonder, if there's maybe a miscommunication on that last play. Nagafin was staying alive and trying to move around, but Parasite is the player that you need to get that drone to. He has that overdrive. He could have been the complete game changer for that side. So that's just one thing you have to sit in your head. You have a player who has the overdrive, but he doesn't use it. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head is there has to be some sort of miscommunication. Try to get that drone over to Parasite, have Nagafin slay up. That's what he was doing a majority of that game, and it was working out for the side of Evil Geniuses.
It did indeed. So as now we now kind of take a look here as far as the maps are considered so far. Of course, we just talked about that first hard point as we get ready to head to our second hard point on Retaliation, but to kind of recap in some cases. That number one went Evil Genius' way. They took that one at 250 to 128. Pretty dominant victory, to say the least. They also took that next Search and Destroy on Retaliation at 6 rounds to 3. Like we just mentioned, E6 able to respond exactly when they need to, as they're going to walk away with that one by 1 possession advantage. They win that one to 7 points to EG's 5. Now, as we focus our attention toward this Retaliation hardpoint, this is where it gets scary, if I'm the Evil Genius side, because this is a map where I feel like we've talked about it. General, he gets angry. He gets angry, and whenever he has that MV4, that K-bar in his hands, he could definitely do some damage. And not that I'm not the biggest fan of EG when it comes into their ARs, because Nameless has been absolutely stellar up to this point. When it comes down to it, man, General, I think he could definitely be the reason why we see a potential Game 5.
Before we head into this game number 4, let's go ahead and recap the uplink box. We're having it on your guys' screen right now. You see both sides scoring 1 in that first half. Of the second half is things starting to get a little bit saucy here at CWL Anaheim.
I like that word.
Enigma6 scored 6, and the Evil Genius got the 4, but like we said, it just came down to the Parasite Overdrive. That could have been such a game changer, the fact that they didn't use that. But the 2 players we're highlighting here is from Enigma6. Of course, it's going to be General. This is a map where I said it's going to very much favor him with how aggressive playstyle he does have. 32 kills, 1.14 KD. Best KD there on Enigma6. And then Nameless going off in the respawn game type once more. 38 kills, a 1.52 KD. This guy wants it so much, and you can just tell by his play.
The guy has gone off, and I think it's fair to say that we start to give Nameless the credit that he definitely deserves, because he has not gone off just in this particular series, but this entire tournament. And I don't know if it's going to be enough when it comes down to this next hard point, but we can't doubt him. We cannot doubt his overall play, but we'll see if the entire team kind of, in some ways, kind of result around him and see what they can potentially try and do. But of course, as we get ready to load in here, it will be Retaliation hard point. Retaliation, we talk about this map. We talk about how this one kind of works out. No lead is safe on Retaliation. And we also... no worries there, but of course, we do talk about Retaliation hard point. No lead is safe when it comes down to this. You got 2 major hard points to be looking out for. You got 1 in Cathedral and 1 over inside of Destroyed Building. You can lock down a number of different seconds. And EG, they're pretty familiar with this map, because this is actually the map that they took in order to qualify for Stage 1. So some nice and good memories if you are the guys on Evil Geniuses. And Nagafin doing actually a similar strategy I saw from Assault, I believe, earlier on. Actually, no, it was Mox, actually, excuse me, from the side of Bittersweet, rocking the DMR.
Yeah, he's doing that right off there off the respawn. We know Nagafin is used to throwing these weird stuff. You think back to Advanced Warfare. Had the crazy weapons with the thermal sight on there. Was able to make some crazy things happen as well.
It looks kind of like a World War II weapon, so I think Nagafin and I think Mox as well are both kind of ready for Call of Duty World War II. I don't know about you, but maybe just trying to get a little bit of practice in at times.
As you see, the game is underway now. 9-5 is the score, and it's going to be Enigma6 in control here. We talked about the MV4 play, something we bring up on Retaliation a lot of the time. And now this is where picking up Parasite is going to be huge. This is where he has a chance to prove himself here in the winner's bracket. You're looking for Parasite to go off in this one with that MV4 in hand. You see him inside the hill right now, working side by side with Nameless and Nagafin. The final 7 seconds are going to be going to them, but the first arm of the rotation is going to be General. Also another man that we need to keep track of. We failed. He didn't do as well in that first hard point, but now let's see if he can try to pick it up in this one.
Yeah, definitely the ball is in his court to try and bring this one back. Nice shots there found onto Havoc, who is kind of stinging his way over on Catwalk, as that's now going to be the rotation 1 from the side of E6 in general, starting to heat up a little bit. Currently sitting at even 3-3, but on a nice little 2 spree along with Proto. These 2 guys have definitely shown their slaying ability so far throughout this entire tournament. Of course, finishing first in their group for a reason. We're currently holding down some control on Lower Street. We'll see what EG tries to provide as Parasite, really at this point, just kind of hold on to the spawns, of course, and just trying to call out to his teammates exactly where these players are coming from. And Nagafin and Havoc are both there to respond, as it looks like they're now going to take control over Lower Street. Question is that EG needs to make sure they do not give away these spawns for this next money hill.
Yeah, they definitely can. I mean, it was a nice executed play there. Parasite was sort of like the bait in a sense while Havoc came in. They do get the final seconds on this, but like you said, this is going to be one of the money hills here at Graveyard. And you look at the setup that Enigma6 has, a complete four-man spread across the map. It's looking good for them. Look for the two-man hit to come out here. Havoc is the first player to go out. He takes out Proto. Now, this is good. The spawn should be blocked right now, so the players from Enigma6 should spawn out on the other side of the map, and that is exactly what's going to happen. You see Proto, you see General spawning all the way over on that bridge side, but Cade is still holding strong inside of the hill. They were able to get that cleanup. No break coming in from Evil Geniuses just yet.
Great job from the guys on Enigma6 to try and stay alive for as long as possible. You see them holding kind of awkward angles and kind of interesting corners as well. That's been the reason why they've been able to kind of hold on for as long as they did. But just as I say that word in past tense form, that's because Evil Geniuses has taken this one back over. Nagafen as well as Nameless starting to go on some sprees, excuse me. Nagavan still currently locking this one down right now inside a Cathedral. Shot starting to come in as he'll be taken out, and just as that happens, the last 14 seconds will be awarded toward the side of E6. And look at the side of EG, getting ready to set up here over toward Destroyed Building. There's quite a few E6 players already here. This could spell bad news if you're the side of Evil Geniuses if E6 play this correctly.
They definitely did. The reason he pushed that last second on that hill was to kill the players to spawn in Bike Shop. They had the players already set up in position, and that's where the communication is key. Go ahead, kill this guy. We know that we're going to get the spawns, and just like that, they completely take over this hill. Now it's just a matter of time. Someone needs to get inside, and it's going to be the Cade, first player in. And now you look at the slang on the side of Enigma6. 2 kill streak for Cade, 3 for Proto, and 3 for General. Now these guys are starting to heat up, and this is where things can get scary. They are going back-to-back on the money hills, holding a majority of that time. Nobody in any sort of position to contest. But as I say, that Parasite's able to get on a little streak of his own. He's going to be pushing in here for Thrump Broken. Is he going to be able to find the kill? No. Cade is going to be able to find 2 before finally being shut down by the hands of Nameless.
Trades going back and forth, but it's not equaling out to any time for the side of Evil Geniuses. Havoc desperately trying to get into this hard point because he's got 10 seconds left. Nagafin's holding down the angle for the time. General getting ready to engage on him, and he should be made slight work of potentially. And just like that, he will fall. So not a whole lot of time in these last 2 hard points granted for the side of Evil Geniuses. And it looks like we are going to be rotating here back toward Hotel Hallway. So the last 2 hard points kind of being money hills. And when it comes into Hotel Hallway, we're going to see pretty much a contest fest. A lot of gunfights going down, pretty sporadic gameplay. But EG currently locking this one down at the moment.
Yeah, Parasite is going to be the lone player inside the hill. He's going to decide to slide out to try to challenge that gunfight. But now it's going to be up to Havoc and Nameless to try to get this point back. Finds one there on General who's trying to jump inside. Enigma6 now does have control, but he takes out Cade as well. So you see the front hit coming from the players of Evil Geniuses. Royalty's going to be the lone player inside of the hill, but Nagvin's going to be able to clean that one up. An excellent plays coming in from the side of Evil Geniuses. They're able to slay out everybody on Enigma6 to cause them to spawn out. But you see Parasite, he got a little bit of a fluky spawn there going to that back broken area, but he's been able to find a kill coming off of that top bridge. Finds one on General there as well.
Last 10 seconds of our first set of rotations, and it will be E6 with a little bit of a lead. EG did struggle quite a bit when it came down to those money hills. That's the reason why E6 had the lead that they do. And Royalty filling up the kill feed, unfortunately, fills it up with one of his own teammates, but I'm sure the transaction is a worthy one due to the fact of finding 2 kills in exchange for 1. So with that, Bridge is where we will set our eyes to now. Current Scarab actually out from the side of E6 trying to gain some information as Proto, Parasite, currently fighting over toward that Cathedral side, and Royalty will be there for the cleanup. Nice communication coming out of the side of E6, and right now E6 holding down quite a bit of time when it comes down to Bridge, locking down every angle, and EG has yet to respond right now. They got to get in here soon before this one starts to get out of hand. Yeah,
and Proto is starting to heat up as well on a kill streak, but they've just been doing so good of slaying outside of the hill that Evil Geniuses hasn't really been in any position to even step close to inside, and they are starting to pull away with this game. Score is 160 and rising for Enigma6 to 98 for Evil Geniuses. The rotations need to be coming in now. First player going to be there for Evil Geniuses is going to be Parasite, currently sitting at 16 of 14. But then you look at Havoc as well, sitting at 9 and 15. A guy who we said has these fluky games, ones where he does really bad and ones where he can start to go off. So look for Havoc to start to pick it up as this game does go on, as we start to head into that crunch time as well.
Parasite going to have to be the objective man right now when it comes down to this particular hill right now on Lower Street. Player just to his left. Question is he checking in time? But no, a fantastic shot from Cade is actually going to halt the progress of Evil Geniuses of being in the hill. Proto shuts down Nameless thanks to a nice card bomb. A little bit of an explosion that's going to take place. It looks like it is going to be the side of E6 yet again who now has some control. Royalty finds one over on Bar. And just like that, Evil Geniuses continue to have struggles when it comes down to the objective. Rotation now is on their minds. When it comes down to this, you can see Royalty sensitivity. He's feeling good. He's currently sitting at 22 and 12, positive 10, thankfully, to my basic arithmetic skills. But see how quickly he is whipping around. My goodness, Royalty, he's making me feel kind of sick right now.
The Scarab is going to come into play there from Royalty. You saw how easily they were able to break that early rotation from Evil Geniuses. Now they are set up on the money hill. A good thing to think of, too. Royalty is going to die here to the player. No, he is not. Parasite walks right by him. Parasite needs to pick up this kill to try to shut this one down, but Nottingham gets that. But now Royalty should use that bombardment right off the break once his teammates get into position, and you're going to see it come into play now. This is going to force all the Evil Geniuses players to try to contest these gunfights. He is going to be able to find one kill there on Havoc and one as well on Parasite.
Big play. They're coming in. As actually some more streaks. Actually, a little bit of a Codcaster glitch there. Apologies for that. But either way, beautiful streak usage there from Royalty. Man, currently sitting at 25 and 14. We said at least one E6 player needs to step up. We thought it might be General. Well, it is Royalty as E6 passing that 200-point margin. A big gunfight won there from Nagafin on Proto is going to grant his team at least the last few seconds when it comes down to the Cathedral. But you see General holding a big power position when it comes down to this next hill. But Nameless has actually made it behind enemy lines here. This could be a huge play for his team, calling it out. I think Royalty might have actually spotted him. Due to General not backing up, you wouldn't think that'd be the case, but General not spotting it. Nameless behind enemy lines, and he quickly gets foiled. So a nice play that could have worked out for EG ends up in their own demise in E6, making it look like it's going to be too much to handle, as they're now only going to be less than 30 seconds away from forcing us to a Game 5.
And definitely score is rising for Enigma6 as they try to complete the reverse sweep. It's going to come down to a Game 5 by the looks of it if it continues to go how it is right now. But Nameless is going to get inside of the hill. He is going to be holding the time for Evil Geniuses. Comebacks are possible. This is something that we see all the time. I mean, 20 more points is all Enigma6 needs, but Evil Geniuses is capable of trying to make that comeback as well. So are they going to be able to win off this hill? That is going to be the question. I feel like if they hold every single second of this hill, they will be able to win it. But the contest is now going to come in, so it's all going to come down to this lobby hill and how well the side of Enigma6 decides to hold.
And Nagvin has to back up to try and make sure that the last few seconds don't go toward the side of Evil Geniuses. Let's rotate here over toward Hotel Hallway. Who's here? How are the gun engagements already going down? Havoc finding one, General finding Havoc in response, and like we said, only a few more seconds left needed for the side of E6. EG have to play perfect if they want to at least close this one out here, or at least try to make it go as long as possible. It's just not looking likely anymore. It seems that we will find ourselves in a Game 5 scenario as Enigma6 will walk away with map number 4, Retaliation Hardpoint 250 to 165.
This is what you just love to see, right? Winners bracket. It makes things interesting early going to a Game 5. Now the question is, how is Evil Genius' mindset? You'd have to think with the veteran leadership of Nameless and the veteran leadership of Parasite as well, they're getting these guys feeling good and trying to make them not be too hard on themselves for that hardpoint loss there. Search and Destroy, like we said, is one of their strong sides, so it's going to be interesting to see how this one does go. But guys, don't go anywhere. Game number 5 between Evil Geniuses and Enigma6 is going to be coming up. Is the reverse sweep going to happen, or is Evil Geniuses going to keep their cool and close this one out? Find out after this quick commercial break. It all comes down to this. Game 5. Winner goes on to take the Juggernaut in Luminosity or Optic Gaming. That one's also in Game 5 as well. But, you know, it's just typical Anaheim tradition, right? Everything goes right down to the wire, and the intense matches happen here. I'm Dirk. I'm joined alongside Landon. You can see right here. That is his name. That is my name down below. But Enigma6 trying to pull off the reverse sweep on Evil Geniuses. But they're trying to have none of it, especially in a search and destroy here. But this one is going to be a toss-up. It's going to be on Breakout.
Yeah, this would be a heartbreaker, especially if E6 is able to complete the reverse sweep like we've been mentioning so far throughout the entire series. EG came out with the fire. Nameless especially was having a fantastic series, but like I said, in the uplink, you can never count out a roster like Enigma6. Question is now, when it comes down to it, can they complete the reverse sweep? Can E6 remain in the winner's bracket? Or will the side of EG close out those hopes and have Nameless reign true when it comes down to at least winners round 2? That is the question to be asking. So as we load in here toward round number 1, Dirk, who are we looking to the eyes of?
We're going to go with Cade. He's going to have the KBS longbow in his hand and the EMC in his back pocket. Has that cold-blooded on just in case Nagafin does decide to run that thermal sight. Cade is going to spot one in top laundry. Is he going to get the initial pick, though? Parasite going with him, but Cade's going to be able to draw the first blood there on Parasite.
Nice shot there coming in from Cade, as that's now going to be the offensive team with a 2-player advantage. Havoc and Nameless now with an all to do 2 versus 4. How do they play this one? You need to pick these players off guard. Havoc finding General. Nameless there for the response. Good overall communication there, as that's going to be 1 player down. Proto, of course, the main objective player for this E6 team, getting that bomb down. It's going to 2 versus 4 come into play. Havoc getting ready to round the corner.
It's going to be hard for Nameless to try to play this one. He has the E-Rad in handy. His only real option is pushing Spiral Stairs. Havoc is going to be able to take out Royalty, and just like that, the player backs up, and Nameless is going to be able to take him out. Now it's going to be left up to a 1 versus 1. Havoc taking on Cade.
Havoc on the bomb right now. Question is he try to go for the defuse, and looks like he's not going to bend to do that. Playing pretty passively, waiting for Cade to try and initiate this one already. And Cade getting ready to round the corner. Does he realize that Havoc's on the bomb? And yes, he's going to win it. So a near 2 versus 4 coming in from the side of Evil Geniuses, but not enough. Cade winning the 1v1 engagement. Havoc tried to test him. He thought that he might try to be a little bit over-aggressive, at Cade responding exactly when he needs to. Solidifies that round number 1 over toward E6.
And maybe if I'm in Evil Geniuses right now and I'm looking at this, you're starting to see everybody starting to run cold-blooded, and Nagafin's not even sniping, and now he is. He has that cold-blooded on as well, but he doesn't have a thermal sight on this sniper. Maybe start to throw some jammers and start to bomb it, counteract those people not using that tac resist, but you see him flying high in the sky. Sniper battle going down between him and Cade, but the gunfight's going down in middle map. First blood's going to go towards Enigma6 as well as the second kill, and just like that, a quick 30-second round, and it's going to be Enigma6 taking a 2-0 lead.
I want to see this final kill cam. It's just going to be a number of different E6 players just running at EG. Royalty round in the corner, the sniper kill coming in from Cade, as it's a beautiful round there coming in from Enigma6. EG, you cannot let the side of E6 get going like this, especially with the amount of momentum that they probably have gained up to this point. Cade is currently sitting at 4-0 after 2 rounds and has had the sniper rifle in his hands for most of it. You cannot allow that to happen, and he's going to continue to have that sniper rifle out. Still looking to try and find that first blood. He's making sure he doesn't shoot Royalty in the back of the head. That'd be bad. Still playing and watching over toward Cade. Actually nearly misses that shot. Nearly finds that shot, excuse me. Actually misses that one over toward Parasite, as General's going to find that first blood yet again. E6 doing some big things, and Royalty and General combining for 2. Another 2 versus 4 now for EG.
Parasite finds himself in a position here on loading dock. It's going to be 1 player over towards his left, trying to get the slide in. That bomb is now going to be planted, but Proto is going to be able to get that kill. Nagafin comes around the corner. He finds one. Now hitting that lower wall run. See if they try to get the read here on this. Scarab is going to come into play too. I believe that was actually coming from the player middle map. That's going to be Cade. Cade's going to be able to get Nagafin 1 shot. Now let's see if the team decides to push him, and they do just that. Excellent team coordination coming from Enigma6, and it all started with that Scarab play coming from Cade.
And honestly, like, the side of Evil Geniuses, they're not playing bad. It's just they keep dying so early. They keep getting first and second bloods, and it's just been an issue. EG can't stay alive right now, so if they want to try to get at least a round on the board, they need to make sure that they find that first blood. Maybe you take the sniper rifle out of Nagafin's hands. You don't allow him to try and maybe try to be more aggressive rather than passive, because it has not worked in these first 3, and they can't afford to give away too much more. E6 already halfway to taking this map in number 5 and completing the reverse sweep.
Enigma6 knows how to play this. You see them hugging towards that middle of the map, and that is the key to winning Breakout Search and Destroy. They've been doing that time in and time out on offense as well as defense. And the bomb is going to be going down for Nameless, but they need to worry about the spiral stairs. It's going to be Proto right there to try to challenge one player position over inside Medical Bay. That is going to be Parasite. Shots are going to be traded between both players. Looks like the collapse of Enigma6 is starting to come in here on Evil Geniuses. Nameless picks up 2, and just like that, Evil Geniuses are going to get a round on the board.
EG finds first blood, they win the round, they get the bomb down, they do exactly what they need to. EG, you just need to make sure you do not die early, and they also get the bomb down as well, of course going to add toward that payload as well as that overall score streak progression. So with that, EG getting a much needed round on the board, and one where they seem to finally respond. Parasite currently sitting at 0 and 4. Nagafin at 1 and 4. Expect Nagafin to have a better performance when it comes down to the search and destroys. I think once he's put that sniper rifle down, this is when he can start to progress. But EG needs to keep playing consistent. Instead of Enigma6 on the offensive, have made their way through showers and now all the way over toward A.
A site completely wide open, so look for Proto to try to get this bomb down here, using that cover behind the bomb to his advantage. The grenade does come in towards that A site, but they're able to get out with their life. Not even going to get weak by it, but now you see the 4 Evil Geniuses players positioned over by middle. This is where Cade can try to be a nuisance. You know he has a sniper laying here in the back, but all the Evil Geniuses players doing a great job of avoiding it. Now shots are going to be going down in the middle of the map. Proto is the bomb carrier. He spots Havoc up in top laundry there as well, but still no kills have come down yet in this round 5.
E6 engaging yet again when it comes down to this site. Like I said, no kills going down as of yet. EG playing pretty passively. Just as I say that, Havoc from the side. Cade able to respond with the nice shots coming in from the EMC. Cade trying to get that plant down as quick as possible. 2 versus 3. EG looking to try and retake. One player actually going to be on that wall run. Royalty shuts down Nagafin, but Parasite's here, finding the first kill of this round, but he's going to need 2 more. 35 seconds left on that bomb kill. Parasite clutches one out. FTL jump gets rocked, but he's able to find that one as well. Parasite in a position to clutch a near 1 versus 3, needing to find this last player, but actually going to be going for the defuse. Royalty's in not a position to actually find this. Let's go on board with Parasite really quickly to see if he's actually going to get the defuse or not. And yes, he is going to get the ninja defuse. The 1 versus 3 will happen somehow. Royalty not going to check the bomb, and that's just a veteran play there from Parasite, completely reading exactly what Royalty would do, as that's now going to put them back in a position to be in this game yet again here for EG.
Great clutch there coming from Parasite, doing everything that he needed, utilizing that lower wall arm that can be so deadly here on Breakout. Now momentum is in full swing in their favor. They're starting to play the middle of the map as well, but now you're going to see these gunfights come down with Enigma6. This is where it comes down to that raw talent, that raw gun skill. General going to be the player positioned inside of mid-hut right now, but you see the blue arrows on the minimap. They're starting to rotate all the way around to try to go over to A to get this bomb down, and it's going to be Nameless leading the charge.
Nameless has led the charge throughout this entire series. He's been the captain of this roster. He's going to lead this team right now with that bomb in hand, the objective for the rosters. They've won the last 2 rounds in a row. Player number 4, Cade, watching inside of garage with that sniper rifle. Excuse me, not garage, that's actually going to be top 2. Not seeing anyone as of yet, but EG has made the complete wraparound. Going to catch Royalty off guard. Bomb going to go down here from Nameless. Question is, does EG try, or excuse me, E6 try to engage now, or do they wait? 2 versus 4. EG doing a great job on offense here. How does General and Proto vend to play this one? Well, it looks like not together, and that's the answer to that question. Proto now last alive, and just like that, EG will respond yet again. 3 rounds to E6, and now 3 rounds to the side of Evil Geniuses. As you're going to see Havoc finding 2 in the final kill cam, doing a great job at finding that last player. As EG are now back in this one, Dirk.
Havoc picks up the final 3 kills in there, but the first kill on that one was the biggest one. That completely shut down the pinch. I believe he shut down Proto, who was coming around that backside, and that's really what set Evil Geniuses up to take that round. Obviously, having the bomb down helps as well, but it was just a great setup. So now it is tied 3-3. See how Enigma6 is going to be able to bounce back in this one. Rob Bober, Proto, the bomb carrier once more, currently sitting at 4 and 4. It's going to be 3 players over in showers. Parasite is going to be able to draw first blood, just getting a nice little peek in there. He's going to toss the cluster grenade, but the flechette is going to come right back at his face. Now a 3 versus 2 situation in favor of Evil Geniuses.
And Nagafin finding General also spots that last player as well, so nice job there coming in from EG. And in some ways, kind of forcing only 3 players over toward that A site, so they are able to kind of hold on to that defensive play in a position where they only had a 3 versus 4 overall. So nice consistent play there from EG, letting E6 make the mistakes and capitalizing on them as they've now won the last 4 rounds in a row. Havoc performing when it comes down to search and destroy. Earning that reactive armor, actually has that Scarab and getting close to some streaks as well, as they're going to grant him the bomb, obviously, for those streaks. We'll see how he does progress. Currently leading not just in kills for his team, but in the entire lobby. Nades being tossed out as EG on offense look to make another A-side hit. And E6 at the very top of the map, following each other, trying to play together as a roster. As this bomb is getting ready to go down, they'll receive that icon, that notification. We'll see how they do try to retake.
General is going to be leading the charge here for Enigma6. Trying to tie this one up is what their plan is. Havoc is going to go ahead and rock that reactive armor. He's going to be able to find one. Nameless finds another, as well as Parasite. Cade is going to be able to pick up a kill before he does drop. Now Royalty is left last alive in a 1 versus 3, and the A site is so hard to retake. But can he do it? He finds Havoc. He gets a nice snap, but he's not going to be able to get that. You see the sensitivity going crazy. The slide over is going to come from Showers, and now he is going to be pinched. And just like that, Evil Geniuses is just 1 round away from closing this series out.
5 rounds in a row for EG. Just when you start to think that E6 can make the reverse sweep, EG are there to decline that. Only 1 more round needed. Is it done here, or can E6 try and stay alive? As far as the payloads, looks like we're not going to have a whole lot really going if you are E6. Nameless getting close toward his payload. Havoc obviously using the reactive in that last round. Of course, we do see the streaks earned. Does Havoc Vin to use it here? Does he wait for future rounds? It wouldn't be a bad idea to try to maybe use it now, but we'll see what happens. Player number 5, Nargfin, going to give that communication forward. As soon as he receives the call out, here comes the streaks down. Obviously going to fire General after being 1 shot for the nice shots coming in from Nagafin. 3 versus 3. Havoc advancing forward. Not a whole lot of team support. Just as that happens, Nameless will join him off to the side. Bomb plant actually gets ready to go down, but not going to be home. Havoc finds one, and now it's going to be left up to a 2 versus 2. Now 1 versus 2. Parasite not involved in those gun engagements, but still in a position to clutch. 1 versus 2. Bomb going down right now from Cade. He's going to receive that. Finds one. 1 versus 1. Royalty versus Parasite. Who's going to win it? Can Parasite do it? But no, it's not going to be home. And Royalty will clutch the 1 versus 1 as E6 stay alive for at least 1 more round.
And the positive you take away from that for Evil Geniuses, Parasite now has that Trinity rocket to go as well. We saw the one coming from Havoc, and it was sort of rushed. He didn't float it in the air like you usually see. He wanted to take out General in the back of the map because you know how much of a threat he can be if he tries to come around on that pinch. But now, Parasite has one ready to rock as well. So look for them to go over towards B. Pop that Trinity rocket. The players are going to be forced to either run to medical bay where they'll get into an engagement or go into that back garage. It can completely open up the B site. You see the 4-man hit coming in from Enigma6. Let's see if Parasite opts to use this Trinity rocket. He's going to go ahead and throw a cluster grenade into that back cave area. The Trinity rocket going to come in now. He's just laying down prone. 1 player utilizing that wall run in the middle of the map. That is going to be Cade. But now the Trinity rocket is going to come in. He's getting the calls for his team. He finds Cade. Can he find Royalty? He has the call out on him, but now he's just going to float this Trinity rocket. But Royalty finds another kill. But Parasite takes out Nameless. Now a 1 versus 3 situation, and he gets taken out. Royalty going huge for Enigma6.
What is that? That is a round that shouldn't be going to EG, but Royalty, I believe, finding at least a hat trick in that round of 3 players. Parasite shutting down his own teammate with those streaks. It comes down to this final round. Round 11. Does the reverse sweep come into play for E6? Or does EG hold on after taking the first 2 maps? Winner will face off against Luminosity. Loser advances down to the losers bracket. We'll see how this round plays out. It will be E6 starting off on the offensive. Proto, with that bomb in hand, looking over toward Showers at the moment.
Nobody really making any moves yet. General has crossed the 50-yard line, sitting over here by Bulldozer, but Nagafin's getting the nice peeks up, trying to get those call-outs. 1 minute left for somebody to try to make a move here from Enigma6. Proto is going to rally back. He does have that Scarab ready to go, and he's going to go ahead and call that one in. Bomb carrier calling in the Scarab, not the smartest place that you can do it, because if it comes down to crunch time, they're going to have to kind of just get out of that. But he's just using it to try to spot check right now. He's going to pick up intel there on Havoc. So now they know the positioning of one Evil Geniuses player. It looks like they're going to go over towards his A site, and now you're going to see Royalty. He's going to rock that Scarab as well. See what he's going to be able to do. But now everything's going down in the middle of the map. First blood is going to go towards Nagafin. Second fight is going to go towards Parasite there as well. Now a 2 versus 2 situation. Parasite going to be left last alive. Parasite fights one on Royalty. And now it's a 1 versus 1. Is Royalty going to come out top? No! Parasite is able to win it for Evil Geniuses, and they will be facing Luminosity in the next round.
What a play there from Parasite. Rocks the overdrive in an engagement like that. Why would you rock the overdrive? But Parasite, the gun skill, the addition of him added to this team obviously will pay off. As you can see what it means to them. Havoc getting pretty hyped after that. Had to watch his teammate Parasite clutch it up, but a Game 5, Round 11, 1v1. It doesn't get better than that. But EG will come on top. The reverse sweep, not going to happen this time. Wow, what was that, man?
Colt Havoc steps up when Evil Geniuses needs him most, dropping double digits in that search and destroy. And Royalty from the side of Enigma6
also
stepped
dropping
up those
double digits,
past
yeah.
2 maps, and he was able to save them to 2 rounds to get them to that round 11 there, but couldn't come up when they needed him most in that 1v1 with Parasite. It was such a close gunfight. I honestly didn't know who died there towards the end. I thought, honestly, it was Enigma6 that was going to come out on top, but Evil Geniuses advances on to face Luminosity Gaming in round 2.
Massive credit to the guys on EG. Let's obviously take a look now at the bracket. Of course, you can kind of see how things are lining up. Of course, that's going to do it for matches today, but we can kind of see these matches heading into tomorrow. Evil Geniuses walked away with this victory versus Enigma6 in a Game 5 scenario. Just below them, Optic Gaming, Luminosity, they just finished obviously on Alpha as well. Luminosity coming out with a Game 5 victory. Some pretty close matchups at the top of the bracket, but it will be LG versus EG. Tomorrow, of course, at the bottom of the bracket as well, Splice having a pretty easy victory versus Bittersweet, and Epsilon versus E United, as we'll see Splice and Epsilon, the European battle at the bottom of the bracket as well. It should be a fantastic championship Sunday lined up for tomorrow, Dirk.
The weekend has gone by quick, and Saturday is now over. But tomorrow, we are going to be back at 10 a.m. We're going to have Losers Round 4 coming up for you guys. We appreciate you guys sticking around with us in the stream. As always, this is going to do it for myself, Dirk, and as well as Landon. We'll see you guys tomorrow.